It's time for another one shot, and it's 420. So I'm reviewing The Secret History of the War on Weed. It's a book written by Gerry, Duggan, and Brian Posehn. They were a team that did one of these big Deadpool books. I think they created Headpool or Zombie Pool, one of those pools. It's booked on Image, came out on 420, and yeah, let me spark one up, and then I'll get to the review. Now, this book starts off with a little bit of facts of the history of the way that America treats cannabis in terms of legislation and shit like that. That's like the first page. After that, it becomes total work of fantasy, but it's a satirical look at how in the 80s they did the war on drugs, you know, championed by Nancy Reagan and the Just Say No and DARE. I mean, we all grew up in the DARE era, and we saw how well that turned out, right? The story follows this dude named Scott McTiernan, which is kind of like a Captain America dude, and he's a analog. He reminds me a lot of Nuke. I don't know if you guys know Nuke. He's this weird Vietnam vet. But yeah, Scott McTiernan is deployed to Northern California to fight these hippies that are growing weed in Humboldt County, and they end up capturing him and just making him smoke weed. And he sees marijuana thing or weed thing. I forget what they called it. But it's basically like a swamp thing, but it's the spirit of marijuana. And it talks to him and tells him, hey man, why are you being such a dick? And Scott says, I don't know, man, but I don't want to be, but that's what I am. That's what I do. That's what they hire me to do, to kill people and shit. And he ends up mellowing out. And he ends up living in the little commune. Sorry, you know, that was a big joint. But yeah, he ends up living in the commune, falls in love, and then they send the other special forces dudes to go get him, and it comes into a big battle for Scott McTiernan's life. And, you know, from then on, you know, it's an action book, and it has a lot of puns, a lot of humor, as Gerry, Duggan, and Brian Posehn tend to do. The whole thing is narrated through the caption boxes. It's basically like sitting around a campfire, hearing Brian Posehn tell you a story of Scott McTiernan. Yeah, the art is pretty good, and I don't know if it's the same people that worked on that Deadpool book that they teamed up with before, but it's pretty good, and it's, you know, satirical 80s action comics like Nuke and Punisher and all that. And it really gets the job done, and it's a really fun read. I actually got the Dave Johnson cover. That's a 1 in 10. Cover price says $4.99, but I got it for $10 because that's what the shop decided to sell it for. I'm good. I'm a Dave Johnson fan, and I'll pay anything for his art. So I enjoyed the cover. I didn't mind paying that. But you can get a preview of it here, and in the description, there'll be a link. You can buy it through Amazon or whoever, your local comic shop or wherever. As far as I can tell, this is a one-shot. They said that maybe there'll be a new adventure for Scott McTiernan next year. I don't know if it'll be 420. I don't know if it's going to be weed related. It might be his journey now that he's not a killer, you know. But yeah, so I'm excited to see it. He went in prison at, well, I don't want to spoil it. Never mind, sorry. It was a fun read. I give it 5 big ass joints out of 5. It's a one shot, so you can't go bad with that. And the price is a little steep for some, but it's fine. If you can find it digitally, you can get a deal. Or if you can find the regular cover, you'll pay cover price, $5. And yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you smoked while reading it, if you did any of that. And yeah.